Well, hello, and welcome back to the Religious Ed Congress here in the Archdiocese of Los Angeles, which is actually held in the Diocese of Orange. My name is Steve Pahanich. I'm the Communications Director for the California Catholic Conference of Bishops. And today we're going to spend a couple of minutes talking with Andy Rivas. Andy's the new Executive Director of the conference. He started in August.
Yes.
And is just going through his first cycle. So welcome.
Good to be here.
You've been here in LA for a few years before you came to the conference.
As the song says, I was born in East LA. Yes.
You were born in East LA.
This is my hood.
And Andy was the Public Policy Director for the Archdiocese of LA for 5 years. And so,
Seven years.
7 years. So now he's in Sacramento. What do you find different about Sacramento, or new or challenging?
A lot's different. Sacramento's a much smaller city. It's a very close-knit community. So Los Angeles is a whole bunch of communities, but Sacramento is a really, I would call it quaint and very lovely. Everybody's very welcoming. It's a very kind place to be.
Now, don't take that seriously. We don't want everybody moving to Sacramento. But yeah, it's a great town. You're working with the legislature,
Yes.
all the legislature, but isn't it something like 40% of the legislature from the LA area anyway?
The largest single city represented in the capital is, and in Washington, D.C. as well, the largest single contingent in Congress is from Los Angeles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, I mean, these people you're used to working with
Yes.
already. So what are some of the legislation you're looking at this year?
Oh, we've got a whole spectrum of bills that we're working on. Everything from the life issues to education, to restorative justice, to health care. I mean, we run the gambit. The church and the bishops care a lot about the different issues that advance the common good for all of our state.
What's the biggest life issue you're working on?
The biggest life issue, that's a tough one. There are several life issues that we're dealing with. One that just got, we hope, resolved, and that is the use of the death penalty in the state of California.
Yeah, okay.
The governor just, was it a week ago, announced
10 days, yeah.
10 days, yeah, announced that he was placing a moratorium on the use of the death penalty in the state of California. For now, it's a moratorium that is during his tenure as governor, but he has taken apart the death chamber. So it's going to be interesting whether or not anybody tries to bring it back. And our job as advocates for the church will be to help legislators see that it's better just to get rid of it permanently.
It's always challenging because Catholics have different points of view on that.
Yeah.
But the catechism has just been changed officially on that. So,
but historically, I mean, even going back as far as Aquinas, you're talking about Catholic theologians who basically said you shouldn't be executing people unless you absolutely have to. And we're now in a part of our history as a country where that's gone out of the window. We now think of executing people as a way of resolving issues instead of helping the community. So it's important that this is the path that we take in getting rid of it permanently.
yeah, and then we also have a bill that we're going to be sponsoring to help single mothers in college campuses.
Yes, I believe that one's SB 24 this time around. There's an effort in the legislature to mandate that colleges and universities in California provide the abortion pill on campuses to students. It's not something that colleges were asking for. It's not something that students were asking for. We know we live in a society that promotes and supports a woman's right to choose, and the ability to access that is close to every campus. So this wasn't needed, and in fact pushes the envelope in terms of putting abortion in front of female students in a very hard way. So yeah, we're going to be fighting that off, and we're hoping that we can convince legislators that there's other ways of supporting students, like actually having programs that
Forcing it,
support
yeah.
those students that actually choose to have their child. They don't have the support that they need at this point in a lot of the universities, and we're trying to shed light on that issue right now.
Yeah. Well, that's great. So if you want to keep up on information on this, if you're here at the Congress, stop by our booth. It's number 465. We're right in the center aisle. You can also go to cacatholic.org. On any page, there's a button that says Join the Network. Click that and register, and you'll be able to get information on these bills and
others.
How many other we're following several hundred bills at this point in the
Yeah.
session. That'll narrow down a lot, but right now there's a lot of bills out there. So thanks for joining us. We'll come back at 11:45 outside the hall here. There'll be a event highlighting the moratorium on the death penalty, and we'll cover that on Facebook Live. So thanks for joining us.